Hey everybody, Tom here, Permaculture Wilmington. What I've got in my hand is the raked up debris that was on the forest floor here. I raked it up and then got down to the humus layer below the mulch layer, and I spread out some seeds, a handful of a mix that I did, and then now I'm covering it, and this is how I'm mulching it. And I was trying to figure out, what would be good to cover the soil to keep it from off-gassing and protect it from the sun. And I looked over and I'm like, well, this stuff that I raked up would be perfect. So check this out and how evenly it, well, let's see if I can throw it evenly, but it's beautiful. It just how it breaks up, and it's so fine, and it's so easy to scatter it out this way, and just get it in an even sheet across so it won't hold the seeds down and keep the seeds from emerging. So this is great. But that's what I'm doing now. You can see I've already covered most of it, and there you can see some of the soybeans under here. So I'm just covering up the soybeans just very lightly, not much of a scatter at all. There we go. I'll give you an idea. But that's it, man. I'm just kind of scattering this out and covering the soil and protecting it. And it's raining right now, which is perfect because I'm in the middle of a native North Carolina mixed pine and hardwood forest, and we're planting right in the middle of it, and this tree fell down. So basically what we did was make a hugelkultur in the dips. We got some manure and brought it in, some aged manure, which was a surprise. I thought that was wonderful. And then we basically did what you see in the roots, where we layered it like the roots are, so the tree's now fallen over and it's dead, or say we cut a tree down to the base and the roots underneath the soil, how they're layered in the soil. It's basically the same thing as a hugelkultur. So that's what we did, was take a lot of old logs that we had laying around from all the pines. You see all the pines that we had cut down before. We did that a couple years ago, and then they've just been sitting and drying out. So they're perfect right now because they don't have any of the tannins in them. The tannins have all been broken down by microbes at this point because it's been so long, and they're basically just a carbon shell. So now they're perfect for hugelkultur, and they won't cause any nutrient issues. So they'll just be like basically a water retention and carbon. So they are going to bind some of the nutrients that are in there for a little while, but we're putting compost down, so there's a lot of nutrition in there and a lot of microbes. So the microbes are the ones that feed the plants, guys. Don't forget that. Microbes, all the organisms in the soil food web, that's what grows your plants, and that's what we need to cater to, and they just need the organic matter. So really, just not to make it confusing, you just really need compost. I mean, it's that easy. But even in the forest system, because we put seeds down and the seeds were annual, so that's why we're using compost to get that bacteria-dominated consortium of microbes in the soil. And the rest of this is all very nicely fungal dominated. We didn't disturb it too much. I just basically raked back down to the surface layer where the humus was, and raked it all on the side, and then I put it back. So good there, because that's the natural covering for what we have, all the nutrients that are coming from the trees around here that the soil needs. Those nutrients for this ecosystem are from the native trees. So that is how the soil cycles fertility. That drops the leaves, and then they become the fertility for the soil organisms that grow our plants. So that's what I'm doing, guys, and it makes sense to me. But I went through with a broad fork, and I've already aerated it, and then I put seeds down, and then I spread just scattered manure over here. But in this area, basically, it's just a forest floor with the original mulch that I'm putting back now, but only in a very thin layer. So, okay, guys, it's raining harder. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. Have a great day. This is Tom, Permaculture Wilmington. Live regeneratively, grow abundantly, and be well.